Okay. Okay. This is getting frustrating. So my long absence in streaming seems to have completely messed up my OBS settings. Um, Completely and utterly. So I don't quite know what's going on, and Twitch doesn't seem to want um, to work either because it's not changing the stream title. So anyway, this is the second review of the day of the 9 books I'm going to try to get through the reviews of. This time round, Possession by A.S. Bryant. This won all sorts of awards in the 90s, and it's actually it's one of those books where I read and I quite enjoyed it, but I'm not entirely sure why I enjoyed it. Um, it's kind of got that same idea of the cyclical nature of things that some of the previous books in this read has had. That it thinks that you have the things that have happened in the past will happen again in the future, and it just continues on like that. I'm trying to remember. It's one of the Kierkegaard ones, isn't it? That had the idea, and it was one of the Russian ones where the unbearable lightness of being. There you go, where the things happen again and again and again, and it's a similar premise at the start of this. So there's the two poets in the Victorian ages, and then there is the two academics in the modern age. Um, the two poets have a brief fling together, and the two academics essentially find love through their hunt for the academic truth about the fling. Um, and as books go, it wasn't bad. It was quite nice. It had it had lovely little elements in it. I quite liked the style, the linking of the poetry. Is a stylistic tick I've never really enjoyed. I didn't like it the first time I ever came across it, which was in Tolkien, and I've never really liked it since. Um, so the occasional linking of the poetry in the book, I understand the book is about two poets, but even still, it tends to be skip over those bits and keep going. Um, in terms of actual things to say about it, I haven't actually got a huge amount to say about the book. Um, it's nice. I quite like the characters. The kind of evil collector who splashes all the cash and buys everything up, whose name now escapes me. Let me go to the Mitchell, was it, or was that one of the main characters? That was the main character. I can't remember his name. Oh, that's annoying. um, but the one who's down is the evil one who just flashes the cash. I thought he was quite fun as a character because he was, half academic, half moustache twirling villain, and that was quite good fun. I think he was more fun than most of the characters in there. Um, the Ash and Christine Lamothe themselves, I actually found quite boring as the original, kind of Victorian partnership. Their brief fling was. I mean, the most interesting thing about it was, Christine Lamott's partner committing suicide, and that's a really bad thing to say, but that is genuinely the most interesting thing about that relationship. Um, I don't know what else to say about this book. It was really much of a nothing. I read it and I finished it and went, yeah, it was all right, and moved on. It didn't evoke feelings in me really one way or the other. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was just a thing that I read. I I don't know what really else to say about it. The academic character of Mitchell, that was his name, wasn't it? Um, I found him very wishy washy, very annoying. Especially at the start of the book with his wife, it's just like, oh man, it's super irritating character. Um, and there's a little bit of the idiot ball required to get the story running. I mean, him stealing the correspondence in the first place, which gets the story moving. It's something that you wouldn't do as an academic, and if he'd been discovered, he would have been kicked out. Regardless of his reasoning for this. Um, so there's a little bit of idiot ball required, for the book, but yeah, it was just a book that I read. I mean, it didn't evoke anything in me. It won so many awards, so many prizes, got turned into films. it was just a thing. Should you read this book? Should you read this book? Yes. There's no reason not to. It didn't evoke in me what it evoked in other people. It's been put forward as a really, really good book. You know, and the portrayal of strong female characters, etc. And yes, it has all those things. It just wasn't my cup of tea. It wasn't my cup of tea at all. Not that I hated it. I just, I've said this a couple of times, but it was a book. What I read. That's the long and short of it. Go away and read it. You might enjoy it more than I did. But yeah, it was a book. So that's the second review done. I'm going to try to get through these quite quickly. You've noticed that I'm dropping my intro and outro for the most part about doing this for charity. Mostly because I'm not expecting any more charity cash to come in. There's no point, you know, belaboring the point every single time of doing it. Doing my outro. I'm going to do a video at the end talking about it, but this is for a charity read. Everyone knows it's for a charity read who's watching these. Thank you very much if you have donated for this. But I'm basically going to stop the stream, start the stream with the next image for the next book, which is going to be The Book Thief. We're going to come on this one. And this one, yeah, we'll talk about this one in a second. So I will be back in 20 seconds once I fix the Twitch stream. Because both OBS is playing up and Twitch is playing up, and I need to fix both of them before I continue. So, thank you very much for teeth back in, start again. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you again in 20 seconds.